you doing, baby? I hope you're doing fantastic, my beautiful love. I'm coming on here a little bit late, so forgive me, my beautiful, beautiful collective. All right, yeah. Getting all set up here, baby. Just kind of vibing here. Check out the link right here, buy me a coffee. I think that's pretty reasonable for a quick energy scan if you want. Don't give me the question, just trust that whatever comes out in the cards or messages that or downloads that come is going to be potentially for you, okay? Make sure you're subscribed if you haven't already. Beautiful Mystic Royal Collective. So we're going to be on here for a while. Get your coffee, get your choice beverage, whatever it is for you. I got a whole array, a buffet of snacks and things for myself. And that's what took me a little bit to get on the live. I'm gonna keep it real with you. So say hello in the chat if you haven't already. If you're there with me, my beautiful Mystic Royal Collective, okay? We're going to light a incense here. It is a white sage and dragon's blood incense. Not a sponsor here. Look at that. Just pitch in and contribute to the vibes, my beautiful, wonderful, beautiful collective. Make sure you like the video and please share this live with others, you know, so that way that they are apprised of any good vibes, my love. Stay still. If you consent to said cleansing, we're going to cleanse the area in the meantime, and we will continually do so throughout the entire reading. So if you know, you know. If you've been here, thank you, you're beautiful. And if you have already subscribed, I'm very grateful for that, okay? Boom, baby. Neutralizing any negative energies that may be in this area. Goddess Lilith is here as well. Someone that I work with. All right. Thank you so much. Have initiated the incense. Make sure you say hi in the chat, y'all, so I know that you are there. Beautiful, wonderful, Mystic Royal Collective, okay? I got some ramen here, kind of working in the background. Are you a fan of ramen? Let me know in the chat. All right. We'll see what angelic guidance may be in store for anybody. Oh, this one kind of fell right off the bat. Blessings coming your way, potentially. Or blessings you're trying to manifest. Could be that as well. Good fortune, divine gifts, and all the best things, my love. Perception of what are blessings and what are not blessings. Yo, make sure you subscribe, baby. Come on, baby. We're kind of vibing. This is the chill sesh. If you want a personal energy scan to see where you lie with your guides and your celestial guidance, book it in the buymeacoffee.com/Mystic Wolf Oracle, baby. I love you. You're wonderful. Stay mystical. And the next card here is cord cutting. Right here. General reading right here. Are you holding on to certain connections a little too long? Make sure you like the chat. Like the video, my beautiful. Releasing what no longer serves you. Exactly. Look at that. What are you doing? Why are you holding on to stagnant bullshit? You know? Why are you holding on to that? Because you holding on to that bullshit, which you're not really serving you. Probably you already know what I'm talking about. Keeping your blessings from coming your way, you know what I mean? See, with this third card, there's power in the number of 3. So there's the third card that comes in, and I think this is a good place that we're going to end off here. There's so many other archangels that I even don't know, but Archangel Haniel. Archangel Haniel, like the video, please. You're wonderful, beautiful. Share this live. Archangel of Zach. Love and romance, art and luxury, definitely having to do with a relationship situation with this cord cutting situation, like an ex that maybe you're like, oh, is this person like still kind of vibing and still trying to get with me? And they got it for me, and it's like, yo, I think deep down you already know. You're probably just like the moon cards coming up, that kind of energy where it's kind of like illusion, where it's like you're having this facade, a Hollywood fantasy of this person's gonna come out of nowhere and say, hey, I've been missing you so much and it is time for us to be together. And then you wake up and you're like, but this person is probably very toxic. You know what I'm saying? If you know, you know. So make sure you kind of like situate your connections to where that you're not blocking your blessings, you feel me? So good fortune is coming your way. Just allow this process to flow. And if you work with archangels or demons or whatever it is you vibe with, you know what I mean? Archangel Haniel, I'll have to look that energy up later. Love and romance, art and luxury. So, you probably have been blinded for a while by what romance is supposed to look like. Let's keep it real. Sometimes and I feel that the vibe that I'm getting, these people that I'm speaking to are either young souls or they're like physically like in this realm, like around like 20s, 30s, you know what I mean? Where they're just trying to like figure out what their purpose in life and that kind of stuff is, you know what I mean? I'm gonna be eating in the background, so forgive me. Feed the wolf, baby. You wanna buy me a coffee, feed the wolf, that helped me too. I told you, get your snack, get your popcorn, whatever. I got some cherries here, pretty good. Like a dragon, you see that? Like a water dragon, forgive me. Confirmation, look at Apple and Eve, not a sponsor. For those that were here from the other live, I had like a care package or something like that. And a lot of snacks and things that I would never buy for myself. But I mean, like I probably could, as a, growing up, I ate whatever, you know what I mean? And it's kind of like bringing out the inner, sometimes like as you're going through healing, and this goes for anybody, you know what I mean? Sometimes it does require you to like confront certain aspects from your upbringing, and some for some, and unfortunately so, some worse than others, where there's certain traumas that are like situated in those areas, that are very important to like, for the sake of healing and trying to allow your soul to transcend and like feel free from those things. You know what I mean? So sometimes, at least for me, I'm only speaking from my experience in this incarnation, but it's like, I feel that you have to allow yourself a certain sense of surrender and flow. And even if it is having to do with certain, like we talked about cord cutting, that's pretty hard, you know what I mean? Sometimes you do have to tune into these energies and things that you have put away for a while. They're seeking your attention because by integrating and like take a look and say, hey, you know what? Like now I'm strong enough to now confront you now and like take a look at you, and you may feel uncomfortable for a while, you know what I mean? But that has to do with like overall 360 healing. The past is a place of reflection, not for dwelling. What's up, Mystic KC? Glad to have you in the chat. Thank you so much. Everyone, make sure you're subscribed, okay? If anybody knows any connections to any way for a foreigner to gain access to a ghost house in Japan, let me know, because I'm very interested in being able to investigate those like entities, and maybe they're like restless spirits, you know what I mean? Call me crazy, but like to me it's like everything is like an aspect of the whole collective consciousness, you know what I mean? The future. This could apply to you and me, everyone. Future, look at that. Passage of time, unknown and inevitable, knowable and changeable. I'm gonna show that to you again, screenshot if you want, whatever. This is part of that surrender we were talking about, making sure that you are allowing yourself to surrender to the unknown and what could happen. Hell yeah, exactly. I'm almost over. Oh, you're still sick. Oh, poor Casey. Poor Casey. I hope you're feeling better soon. I got a whole bunch of goodies here. I got some like sweet drink here with the apple juice here. I got some leftover unsweet tea because I try to minimize the sugar. But if I'm gifted something, I'm a drink it or eat the food or whatever it is, you know. I'd be grateful. And then I got some ramen here that looks like it to be about ready. So I got an extra seasoning packet on standby of this roast chicken, and how unfortunately everything is labeled as, quote, flavor. So let's hope there's transmuting energies. You know, I would like, and this kind of reminds me, like this like setup here kind of reminds me of like a Naruto, because I watch anime and stuff like that. Like a sage essence or something. Having a legit ramen shop like on standby, that sounds awesome. Like with real like house-made pasta and like house-made ramen and the broth and everything. Like, yo, I've been to like legit places a few times. So I got 2 packs in here throughout the whole live. Not bad on the seasoning. I try to cut down on the sodium and do just 1 pack. But then I got 2 pack right here. I heard he lives in Hawthorne. There's a lot of legends that we have to, it's funny, like different, whether it be actors, like Keanu Reeves is one that comes to mind, Samuel L. Jackson, legendary voice, you know what I mean? All these people are like aspects and divine fractals of the collective that have made their mark and helped to elevate the consciousness and elevate and provide entertainment, you know, whether planted by industry or not. That's, you know, alleged or up for debate, I guess, but we're not talking about that. The thing is that everything that exists is all either aspects of the subconscious that are reflected back to us to help us to heal as a soul. And depending on what line of thought you think, whether like matrix ideology, like what actually exists outside of the self, right? You know, that could be something to think about. But also it's like, if everything is collectively connected, then that's why karma is so impactful, right? And also, maybe this is just me, but like over time, like I start to think of like more, and maybe this is just my guides, right? One of my guides is like a white body. It like shows himself as a white wolf with blue eyes. And it's like a wolf has the ability to, you know, they're tribalists. They go from one pack to another, but they also have the ability to just be on their own. Let me start up this music again. They also have no problem being in silence too, so that could be significant for somebody. But the thing is that sometimes some of the wolves, excuse me, they will leave the pack that they were raised in, so maybe they'll be able to start their own wolf pack. You know what I mean? And and you know, it kind of makes you wonder. Like, there's a lot of mechanisms and things in place that like encourage people to like spend money that's not even necessary. It's like, if you think about it, like how many things, and I'm polished this little crystal ball, if you think about it at the crux of things, like how much things do people actually like technically need to survive? I mean, basic needs, especially with the advanced like technology we have, I mean, it's probably pretty easy to skate by with the bare minimum, you know what I mean? But that's what I'm saying. It's like we have the ability to, as creators that we are, gods and goddesses alike, create and innovate and change things and make things more efficient. And that is our godhood nature manifest in reality, that has allowed us to be able to now communicate thousands of millions of miles from one place to another, which, by the way, all we're doing is literally simulating on a technological level psychic gifts that have already existed, but then potentially have been numbed down over time, you know what I mean? But now these things exist, you know what I mean? And about adaptation and the ego is not something to eliminate completely. In my opinion, the ego is something to be able to understand and know how it affects your life from day to day. And if you have awareness of how your ego will affect your life from day to day, then you will have more control and more ability to be able to harness your power to be able to work with your ego, because your ego is simply a representation, and a tether is how I see it. Take what resonates and leave the rest. But that is your tether to this three-dimensional physical realm, and your ego could make or break your experience depending on how obsessed they are. I'm gonna keep it real, you know what I mean? That's why it's good to have that balance of that internal masculine and feminine energies that exist in everybody. Does that make sense? So keep up with the chat here, baby. If you donated or went over there to, let me know so I don't miss out on you, okay? But we're kind of vibing and chilling, and we're gonna vibe here for a while because I got a lot of snacks and everything, and ASMR action with eating food, if that's your thing. You know what I mean? I don't do no mukbangs, but hey, if we get a certain number of likes, you know what I mean? If that's something you want to see, that'd be interesting. I've never done anything like that. That's eating, that's AKA eating like a whole bunch of food in one session. But sometimes the wolf be hungry, you know what I mean? So it depends on the food, I guess. Sushi sounds pretty good to eat a lot of. Wow, sushi sounds really good. Sounds good. Amazing ghost tour in Kyoto. Yes. At some point, I think it would be nice to visit Japan. Japan, I would love to visit there. I've always loved like investigating the culture and different things, and over time learning more about things. And but I think that you can't really, I would imagine, like with any culture, like you can't really say anything about it truly until you've been there. So I'm kind of like saving my experiences and comments until I like get there. But like, you know, I like anime, but anime is not what defines Japan. They have a lot of beautiful things that exist there, and just waiting to be explored, just like any other country. So yeah. Let's see, bamboo forest, visit the mansion. Yeah, if any connections to that, haunted houses, I'm down. All right. You're just hanging out with me, that's what it is. So if you were hanging out with me in real life, I'd be eating in front of you as well. So that's how I take it. Archangel Raphael is with you. God of Archangel of healing, from other things that I've looked up, but it says Archangel of air here. Speak your truth in a way that people will understand. Sometimes I get a little too philosophical, and then I leave people kind of like dumbfounded, you know, and like that saying that is not disrespect on them, but sometimes like you probably learn different things and different like speak in different verbiage than they do, and you know, sometimes also some people are not ready to hear certain truths in certain things, and that's not against anybody. It's just everyone has a different time and place to learn. I've definitely had to learn my share of lessons, so. Feeling demolished, yeah. So much stuff going on, so much shit going on. 10 of Swords, people coming at you from all directions. Anybody in the chat say hello or continue conversation, I'm all about it, you know. Just kind of vibing. I don't know how long I'm going to be on here, but I do got a lot of snacks. Make sure you subscribe, share with anybody you know. We're trying to get 500 subscribers total. That helps to unlock more benefits from YouTube. So, I try to keep it raw, man. Ramen's good. Yummy. Not a sponsor. Got this kombucha. Gotta get that booch. This one's got spirulina in her. Spirulina, trying to make it think it's leaner, but it ain't completely, because it's packed with sugar, which is yummy. But live probiotic cultures, organic. But I'd rather have the blue from the spirulina than the dye. I mean, it's in the name, you know what I mean? The blue dyes, it's in the name that it's toxic for you. Why would I want to consume something that has that in the name? All right. See if we got any encouragements. I encourage you, if you have any, you should exercise your inner creator from time to time and see if any sacred symbols come out to you that are uniquely for you, sigils or whatnot. Get your timing right, baby. Yeah. Timing is critical in war, in business, in sports, and in our relationships with other people. Deciding on your strategy or your plan is essential, but it is only as good as it is appropriate for the situation. Don't rush in like a bull in a china shop. Wait. And when the time is right, don't hesitate. To me, that's just screaming balance of rest and recovery. You know, sometimes we can get too caught up in stresses and caught up in, understandably so, sometimes it's survival related, but maybe you can kind of see what other aspects that you could probably trim off, and maybe you don't need to kind of ease off your burdens just a little bit, you know what I mean? we showed this energy here. I'm gonna pull more cards. This is the Murder of Crows Tarot here. 10 of Swords. You're feeling kind of picked at from all directions. Feeling kind of like beaten up. You know what I mean? Make sure you subscribe, my love, and share with anybody you know. Excuse me, confirmation burp right there. Grab your snacks. I got some ramen. I got some other goodies here. You're gonna get a reading. You're gonna get ASMR action and everything, I guess. What defines your cover? That's what came to mind. 10 of Pentacles. We got 10 of Swords already. So, which is already completion. You feeling so overwhelmed and everything. That was air energy having to do with all these thoughts that keep going in your mind, and they churning and churning and churning. And it's like, yo, you feel like you don't get no rest. And you see this person's like symbolism right here. This person is suffering, and I'm sure like who I'm speaking to right now, like you feeling like nitpicked, and maybe you should practice that high priestess energy from time to time, which is like allowing yourself to detach from these thought forms that come into your mind and know that they are not completely your own, and that sometimes it's either sometimes it can be your guides giving you just kind of like tough or assertive words of wisdom and advice that you're uncomfortable hearing, but also they're, you know, not to invoke any fear, because there's no need to fear, but sometimes trickster spirits can whisper things to you, and you know, anything that brings your energy down, just something to keep aware that you might want to separate yourself and not identify that as yours. You know what I mean? You have the power to transmute your own energy. So now we're talking about a completion and a sense of stability. And I think that who I'm speaking to, you're now like kind of at a place of realization to understand some of these things that's going on. You know what I mean? Yeah. Oh, The Knight of Cups. The Knight is the fastest moving card in the deck, energy-wise. Cups having to do with emotions. Yeah. I think someone's like kind of getting in there, kind of like, and I say this with like from a healed perspective, like a villain era. You know what I mean? And like, look at this artwork here. This is so awesome. Look at that. He or she riding this horse, and you see Triforce protection above you, baby. You got 3 crows. This is the Knight of Cups, but to me, like, I'm gonna keep it real with you. Sometimes you have to look out at nature. Like, if you see a certain number of birds, how many birds you seen? And to me, this is I'm gonna share a little secret from me to you. Like, this is how I read the tarot or read oracle on the fly, based on the simulation presented before my projected vision and eyes, because you have to have light and active senses to be able to see whatever's in your reality. And, you know, I'm kind of curious, you know what I mean, to learn from others that maybe, you know, lack certain senses but are strengthened in others, how they perceive the world, because everything is about perception. Time is perception. you know, and this is just a reminder of how powerful you are as a magician and high priestess both that you are, which is symbolic straight in the tree of life. They have, the tarot system is orchestrated based on each realm of the tree of life. But to me, look at this, like, this is someone that's kind of reclaiming their power, and you know what I mean? They're grabbing their beverage of choice, whether it be, you know, booze or a kombucha, or I got some tea here, you know what I mean? Whatever it is, they're like, hey, come at me, mother. You know what I mean? They're like, come at me, bro. You can't, you know, now I am recognizing where I can improve myself. I am taking accountability after a lot of hardships and karmic lessons from situations in the past. And now I am integrating that, I am neutralizing that, I am burning that as a fuel source, and I'm turning and alchemizing that energy as a form of fertilizer to then complete this sense of stabilization. 10 of Pentacles right here. You see, like, you got a whole bunch of ruckus right here. I mean, this sounds pretty grim, but like, there's a lot of grim. This is a shadow work. There's a lot of grim symbolism in this, the Murder Crow's Tarot, but it's a beautiful deck. Confirmation burp there, but look, 10 of Swords, completion of all the struggles, and you see the person suffering. Crows are going crazy here. But then, cutscene, look at that, like, hey, maybe we have to contact the author or the artist of this deck, because look at this. 10 of Pentacles here, the crows are a lot calmer. There seems to be a little, you know, like, hey, if you know, you know. I don't know, but like, that just came up. But to me, this is giving like Phoenix energy. This is not like anything grim. It's more so like putting to rest the symbolism and the things that, the mindsets that are no longer serving you, my love. Beautiful, you know. Because like some of these things, these mindsets and relationships that you've been hanging around, they've been holding you back from your blessings, you know? So it's just something to keep in mind. I don't know why I'm laughing so much. Sometimes it's good to just keep a lighthearted nature about things, just in general, you know what I mean? Reactivating the sage cleansing. If you consent to sage cleansing, say I consent. Okay, say hi in the chat if you're in the chat, okay? My love, you're beautiful, you're wonderful. Trying to get up 500 subscribers, baby. So, you're the boss of your own life. You kind of realizing that more so, you know? Take a little chomp break, you know what I mean? Cheers to you. Get your own snack of choice. Okay. I pull from this, I think it's the Voice of the Soul Oracle. Yeah, you've been repressed. People trying to oppress you and like down your vibes, you know what I mean? Ooh, has burned you multiple times, potentially. Repression, see? This is a spiritual message to you. I'll be honest, every time I see this, I'm like, isn't all of this a spiritual message? So sometimes it gets me like, huh? You know, like, everything, just living and waking up is a spiritual message. So like when that comes up, I'm like, oh, you know, take what resonates and leave the rest. It's about education. Yeah. See, sometimes you gotta give yourself the rest and nurturing that you need, you know. This is a message of love. I say this with love. You'll notice through your walk, you know, I feel led to say this, collective, but you'll notice through your walk, whatever your path is meant, whatever belief system you believe in, you'll find that other people come into your life, and whether harsh or not harsh, sometimes, let's keep it real, some hard karmic lessons that we learn, you know, which in some way has caused some anger, shown here, that just came up. I say these things, by the way, not taking for granted the position that I am in this incarnation right now, by the way. I always try to make that abundantly clear, because like, I know there are people, there are divine fractals in the collective that have it way worse than I do, and I have my fair share of struggles personally. So does everybody, right? But the fact that I'm able to speak to you and go live here right now, I take that as a blessing in and of itself. You know what I mean? So just know I am not taking that for granted. I'm very fortunate. You know. I feel the divine fractals that I tend to attract, at least at this moment in my life, tend to be the divine fractals that may have been through a certain sense of hard time, or maybe they have felt like outcasts. Maybe they have felt that they have never been understood, but maybe there is some kind of comedic nature in them, you know what I mean? And they're just like tired of all people being BS, people putting up a mask, you know what I mean? Especially in a world authenticity on the decline, you know? Understandably so. Sometimes it can be hard to find authentic connection, especially those that vibe with your certain energy and don't expect you to compromise. But again, the instances that we have outside of ourselves, I feel, are divine lessons and opportunities for advancement and learning and taking from it. Because also, how much of what exists outside of ourselves actually exists truly? Something to think about, right? Yes. Is that you, Casey, in the chat? Talk to me if that's you still, but welcome everybody in the chat. We're kind of just vibing and chilling. I'm still learning all this, like, what are the times of traffic that are better and everything like that. Wow, this instant ramen is just awakening my inner fat kid right now. Not in any disrespectful way. I've been there, you know. I lost the weight, went back and lost the weight, and then I visited again. You always want to try to keep it healthy, but for your own sake of living to the point that you need to fulfill your mission. It's probably the best way to put it. And only you know that. But I do believe in living life, baby. You know what I mean? I miss the supersize. Like, not that I'm gonna eat supersize meals all the time, but I want the option to choose again. Like, bring the option back. That's the inner American perhaps in me of wanting just the freedom to choose that, you know what I mean? But dang it, I miss my supersized fry of anything. That is what I miss, my supersized fries. They can keep the supersized drink. But the thing is, what's crazy, supersized meal, only supersize the fries and the drink. Like, they need to have a true supersize like meal also. Maybe they put like double or triple patty or whatever. You know what I mean? Because like, anyways, side rants there. Yo, what? Yo, you cut in generational curses right here, baby, or something. Look, you got 2 10s here early. Look, you got the 10 of swords, the 10 of coins, and look what you just got. You got the 10 of wands. you got the weight on your shoulders, baby, a little too much, and you taking the weight on others people's bullshit too much too. You know what I mean? Yo, welcome in the chat. Let's see who a fairy goddess tarot. Hey, how are you doing? Make sure you're subscribed. Hope you had an amazing day. And me, Mia, on the other AC from oh, hey, glad to have you. Yo, subscribe from both channels if you don't mind. Well, hey, be yourself. You know, I think 500 is like they unlock other features on YouTube. But anyways, so glad to have you. Grab your snacks. I got some cherries, I got some ramen, I got a juice box, Apple and Eve, you know what I mean? Going back to basics, right? No, not a sponsor. It should be Adam and Lilith, because actually they were the actual first 2 people to exist. Lilith! See? Yeah, look at her seal, yeah. First woman, baby. She's the woman of many things. She can be whatever she wants to be. Also known as a vampire queen. Also known as a divine dragoness. Primordial being. Samael's counterpart. Samael Lilith, which is the primordial essence that was created as a one union that was not separation, that was not separated, that in one dimension was created at the same time when the demiurge had created his version of the light. I'm still learning myself. White belt mentality, baby. It's so fascinating. I feel people go through the matrix and just don't even question their existence. Like, that's kind of crazy. This is temporary. You know what I mean? Instead of trying to keep up with the Joneses, I want you to keep up with your divinity, baby. What the fuck? New moon, refreshing intelligence is beautiful. You see that? It's a wake-up call. New beginnings, fresh perspective to problems. Now we have a total of 6, could be significant, 6 cards in the Echo Sigil Oracle, you know what I mean? Barbara Butler, hey, how are you doing? Welcome, make sure you're subscribed, beautiful, wonderful collective. Grab your snacks, whatever it is, chill. You're gonna be here for a minute, just kind of vibing. So I feel the person I'm speaking to right now is kind of like been through certain enough trials to kind of like, even though that you have felt the weight upon your shoulders in many instances and have taken upon the burden of others, admittedly, confirmation burp there, feeling completely alone sometimes in agonizing pain. Make sure you like the video, my love. Subscribe, share with others. It's free, baby. You're beautiful. But it has made you a very strong person, though, compared to the past. Has laid the foundations to bringing you the strength and stability to be able to handle future challenges. And depending on your perspective and how you view things, like I am of the belief, check out Journey of Souls, Dr. Michael Newton. See, sometimes you tune off from yourself, you know what I mean? And sometimes you need to remind yourself of your beautiful nature and your power. Here, Medusa says hi, by the way. She's here in the background staring at you. I was able to find this awesome Medusa. The eyes actually glow, which is pretty awesome. You know what I mean? Because apparently with the rise of AI and fake internet ads, there's one that's flown around that's even smaller than this one, and the eyes don't even glow. Yeah. Fairy Goddess. Share, like, yo, thank you so much. You're beautiful. Thank you so much for putting it out there. You know what I mean? If you come often, you know what I mean? I could use moderators. You know what I mean? I'm trying to find people to work with personally in person, somehow, if possible, even remotely, maybe collaborating or something. I don't know. I'm a one-man show, you know what I mean? Sometimes and I still work a corporate job, so sometimes I get out. 3 could be significant. This is the I'm gonna look this up real quick. Let's see, one moment, please. Kind of vibing, so there's no time schedule for me right now. So let's see this. Okay, the Empress. Yes, thank you. Sometimes they don't give the indicators here. Uh-oh, let's see. Held for reveal. I don't understand what this question is. Oh, I don't know why it, I have it set on, I don't know if it shows it now, but I have it set on, for the auto moderation on moderate, and sometimes it's very finicky, and then I gotta review the chat from time to time. You know, I'm also like, what is it? I know there are people that are good at clip farming. You know what I mean? If people want to work like that too, that's good too. See that? The Empress energy, though. Back to the reading, baby. You recognizing your importance and getting realizations, and I feel who I'm speaking to is finally getting a certain sense of downloads on what the hell they're supposed to be like doing right now. You know what I mean? New moon here, refreshing intelligence, or earlier. Full energy, baby. Murder Crow's Tarot shows pretty awesome symbolism there. From the Murder of Crow's Tarot, I love how they have a little baby crow on the side as like the dog from the tarot. And you know, you're on to new, we just talked about it, new beginnings, fresh perspective. So that was on the bottom of the deck, so thank you, universe, for showing that. Can you confirm in the chat, Miss Fairy, if you're still there, did it show the message that you put on there? Because I put to show it, but I'm logged in on one device and try to keep in track of the chat. All right. No, it didn't. Interesting. Well, I'm gonna... Yeah, we'll figure something out. Thank you, Miss Fairy, guys. Thanks for the feedback. I'm doing from the soulmate manifestation. I know I don't need to explain myself, but just know sometimes I have like, I don't feel the need to like fill every single gap with like noise, you know what I mean? And so I have music in the background anyways, you know? I just like to, sometimes good just to vibe, baby, you know? Not feel like you have to take everything so seriously. And I think that's what this Joker energy, as much as you can to allow yourself to surrender and move on, you know, from things that no longer serving you, you know? People are gonna try to weigh you down and try to put you in a box and try to put you in a place where they remembered you last, and then you look back at them and you're like, you know what? Respectfully, I'm already past that, you know what I mean? Like, some people are gonna try to get back into your life and they're gonna be remembering the person that you were when you were with them. But then, you know, sometimes certain people, if they're not meant to be in your life, they're not gonna reach out to you, and they, you know, you deserve better. You know, you deserve better. For what I'm speaking to right now, you need to know your worth and know what you deserve. You know what I mean? You don't deserve to get treated like bullshit, you know? You may have been with a karmic that affected you financially and drained you. I'm not ready for you yet, because I'm not financially stable enough to be a good partner for you. It could be a message for somebody. Maybe someone in the past drained you And, or maybe this is your loved one. Now, I'm gonna keep it real with you, collective, here. On my channel, like, I'm a white belt mentality. Like, I'm always willing to learn, but, like, I'm also like a tribalist in a way. Like, I'm gonna keep it real. This is not like me trying to be like a, you know, like, whenever I be talking about like this stuff like this, I'm not gonna lie, I have people that be in the chat, and honestly, I don't really care at this point, but they'll be like, oh, he's just trying to be like a boy or something like that, and like, you know, be with a lot of people, you know, that's not really it. But I just kind of like wonder, like, the programming that's in society. It's more so the programming on, like, this kind of fuels like a desperation, like a desperation need for people to feel that they have to be with someone to feel complete. I guess to me, that's what's more so like concerning, but in a way of not fear, but just being aware of, like, you know, just decide for yourself what you feel is right. But like, ideally for growth, try to have as little distraction as possible as a soul. But sometimes we are meant to, and we have decided before coming here to have certain soul contracts with people. But it's about also tuning into your higher purpose to know that you're on the right path. Also, there's a lot of trauma that could have stemmed from a lot of situations, you know. I'm working through my trauma so I can be whole for you. So it could be, if this person, you are seeking a external connection, that this person could be working through some things on their own. It could be someone that's already in your life, and maybe they haven't acted on being in your life actively because they want to be in a right place, whatever that means. For the sake of healing too, we had the, let's see, yo, Miss Moon Honey in the chat comes from evolutionary biology, really. Yeah, I know. Oh, she was talking about, hey, Moon, that collab is, I think it's not, because she hasn't texted me back since. Oh, Fairy Goddess, are you doing a collab too? Do you want to do a collab, Fairy Goddess? I'm down. What kind of collab are we talking about? Welcome. Okay. Someone working through the trauma impacted their finances, you know what I mean? Pull one more card from this soulmate manifestation, see what comes up. It's time for healing. And the time is of the essence, but what is time but perception? All right, hear me out. For me personally, time is perception, but I feel certain aspects of a dimension that are fixed in a simulation have their own sense of time, if that makes sense. But just like how Neo in the Matrix, when he was dodging the bullets, slowed time or whatnot, or from awareness be able to harness that power as a supposed chosen one. But also it's like, you know, even him being a chosen one, you know, spoiler alert, that was also part of the plan of the Matrix to begin with, which is why he said, you know, we've been here before. You know, the whole thing's so trippy, but also it's just also a reminder of, like, you know, unlike in the Matrix, you know what I mean, which there are the Agent Smiths, and perhaps like, I do question perhaps there's probably some aspects that are actual simulation, and perhaps other parts are, you know, take what resonates and think for yourself. But it's something fascinating to think about. But I think case in point, love starts with the self first. And I find that if you pour into yourself first and foremost before you do other people, fill your cup before you do it. Filling your own cup is filling the cup of others. And not saying to go be overboard and whatnot and be all like stuck up or anything like that, but just treat yourself how you want other people to treat you. And then once you can be able to validate and complete yourself, then other people will be able to add support for you from a completed space. Let's see. I got 2 coming this week. I'm not going to stop being proud of myself. Fairy God is good for you. Put yourself out there. Other reader wanted to collab and she's going to... Yeah, follow me on Instagram if you want to collab. Let's chat. Facebook also. Coffee. Something came up. Yeah, I'm looking for more collabs to see. Energy scan. It's a mixture of everything, Miss Moon Honey. I don't want to... This is me kind of like dipping my toe, you know what I mean, of like offering services, but like I want to also remind people of their own power within themselves, you know what I mean, that they don't feel the need to have to ask specific questions, because like also I put it as energy scan because honestly that's kind of what a reading is in a way. That's one way of reading energy. Smoke, capnomancy is the way of reading energy. Scrying, with permission, you know what I mean? And the energy scan would be more of a targeted towards that divine fractal's essence at this moment. And keeping it at that price point, you know, where it's like, well, just kind of what comes out, because I feel that some people get too anxious about certain things they really want to know an answer to. And sometimes, I hate to say, more often than not, the guides may give little tidbits, but like, you know, they ideally like that they learn for themselves, you know what I mean? And sometimes they'll intentionally withhold, and like, what if a person being focused so much on one specific question is actually keeping them from other advice that their guides may want them to know? So I put it like that, so it's kind of like I don't have to know the question, keep the question to themselves, but I trust my guides implicitly and their guides in communication with one another, that a divine fractal will learn exactly what they need to know at the exact moment when they need to, regardless of my input or not. And it's refreshing the fact that we are infinite beings anyways, so whether in this life or the next, there's no last chances. But yes, fairy goddess, I do use selenite and other things to kind of cleanse the areas here over time. So, heartbreak, having to do with this cord cutting we talked about earlier. Past energies that probably you may have not gotten a closure over, and I'm kind of hoping you did, but never did. I hate to break it to you, probably it's not coming at this point. But, you know, what is closure but what you make it? I'm not ready for you yet, because I'm still in the process of healing from my last relationship. The eyes could be your potential significant other that could be trying to go for you or not. Confirmation burp right there. Beautiful, wonderful. How are you doing in the chat? Talk to me, baby. If you're still there. Cries of the Soul Oracle. Let's see what shadow elements we coming out here. Let's do an intermediary cleansing though real quick while I take a quick little nom nom of this ramen. Yum. Yum. Cries of the Soul Oracle. Beautiful, wonderful. See what shadows coming up. Oh, you did. All right, Miss Moon Honey. Okay. We'll pull one card from here just in general, because I was starting that, but I think this would be a good segue because abandonment. And then from here, I think we'll just kind of flow in, and then I'll more focusedly tune on your energy, Miss Moon Honey. Everything I give other people, I give myself first. I know that as a formal ex-people pleaser, nice to meet you. Sometimes we give too much of ourselves before giving to ourselves. So that could be a shadow that you have been dealing with for a time of, for whoever I'm speaking to, for this one specific card. Before then I'll focus specifically, Miss Moon Honey. It's quite the eye-opening experience. No pun intended, but pun intended at the same time. Okay, Ms. Moon Honey. Anybody else interested in a reading, go ahead and put it. Buy me a coffee. Or you can also Zell Mystic Wolf Oracle too. If you consent to said cleansing, say I consent. Miss Moon Honey, we're gonna tap into whatever your guides want you to know right now. Cleanse this area here. Reorganize the space. Ooh, it feels good. I don't know about you, but every time I light the sage, it feels so good for me. It's very healing. My house loves it too. Hold still, my love. Okay. This goes for anybody that wants to accept sage cleansing. And it's crazy that I have to actually keep in mind of the framing of the sage leaf. Some people have thought that it was a sacred flower roll-up. Let's just say that. So right here, selenite wand for cleansing. Thank you so much. Maybe I gotta configure my PayPal or something like that. You know what I mean? I'm still trying to figure out what's the best modality. Using a selenite wand here. Okay, universe. Kind of doing a whirlwind of energetic cleansing in this area here. As above, so below. Self-love from the rose quartz. Hold still. Consent to said cleansing. This goes for anybody. Take a deep breath. 3, 2, 1. And before starting, I'm going to stir up the energies here. And we're going to continue. Take another deep breath with me. 3, 2, 1. Thank you, universe. All right. I can ask you, Miss Moon Honey, if you've seen the decks or remember the decks. If there's any specific one you want me to pull from, let me know. Otherwise, I will just continue just until I feel otherwise. Hope you're doing great today, everyone in the chat. If you want to own direct energy scan, energy read on what your guides may want you to know, send it in at Buy Me a Coffee or PayPal. Just buy me a coffee. Whatever one you have access to at this point. I'm trying to keep track of everything right now. All right. Reader's choice. Thank you so much. If you don't mind sticking with me for a moment, I'm going to step off, use a facility, and get situated. That way it's as clear, chill as possible. Okay. BRB. Let's get this music going again here. There we go. All right. Un momento, por favor. I'll be right back, okay? I'm gonna mute it for a moment, okay? I'll be right back. Yo, yo, you still in there in the chat, everyone? Hello, hello. Uh-oh. You still there? Hello, hello. All right. Spilled some water. But a card fell out, so I'm gonna honor that one. Curious to see what that is, because I did cleanse the space in advance, so it was already prepped and ready to go. So, doing a scan for Miss Moon Honey right now. Thank you so much. Also, if there's any entities that you potentially want me to try to connect with, if your guides allow it, we could see what happens. I'm open to that too. I know that one time we tuned into something else before and remind me of the name, but if you know, you know, Miss Moon Honey. Yeah, I'm back, baby. Sent for Wolf reading. Okay, perfect. Okay, I'm all caught up. Hell yeah. Unease, I focus on my well-being. Have you? I hope so. But Hi SA. Did you want me to try to tune in with Hi SA? Miss Moon Honey. I think what I'm gonna do is like a whole spread, and then we'll just kind of go everything. Okay. Gonna reignite the sage cleansing here. Okay. Make sure you like the video, collective. Make sure you're subscribed. I'm gonna try to channel and tune into an energy for Miss Moon Honey. I have worked with this entity before on her behalf, so disclaimer. Okay. If you consent to this potential link connection, say I consent, but I trust that you do. Continue, just let me know if anything, okay? And whatever our guides allow to pass through, or whatever is allowed to be known. Is it God or Goddess? Hi, SA, by the way. Remind me. I think it's, you said Goddess, right? So, Five of Swords came up in the reverse position. King of Wands in the reverse position. Knight of Pentacles in the upright position. Burnout, fatigue, boredom, nostalgia sometimes. Sometimes looking at other people and stuff that they got. I'm gonna skip it real. Sometimes that happens. But I'm getting a lot of like mundane, tired, someone that's ready for more and knows that they're deserving of more. And that could be a multitude of things. That could be spiritual knowledge, and that could be abundance in the physical too. But like this is very prominent here in the upright. Someone that's kind of looking up at things and looking up, knowing that things are. The Knight of Pentacles is, while still a knight, it's the slowest in the deck because it's more even keel and kind of allowing flow. You know, that's what I always get from Knight of Pentacles. Five is the number of change, and 5 second rule. 5's number of change, and I'm feeling like a sense of like renewed boundaries, at least boundaries with oneself, you know, like knowing when to like take time for certain things that are important to you. Because at the end of the day, that translates to the amount of energy that you have in the physical realm. Knight of Wands, reverse, because kind of this fatigue. It's kind of that's kind of the energy at the moment I'm feeling. This card that we pulled in earlier, Unease. I don't know if you resonate with this, Miss Moon Honey. You can say it in the chat if you want or not. It's fine. But like this was the first card that showed up, Unease. Like, if things exist in the background, it doesn't make it that we're not fine or anything like that. I don't know about you, but sometimes I have it where there are occasional recurring thoughts or certain shadows that we're still trying to figure out, or certain things that sometimes come up in our mind for a reason because we have to put more attention to it potentially. But and some of those things may not put us in the most ease position, and it can be uncomfortable. But this mantra says, I focus on my well-being. Again, love starts with the self. It does become easier though, as you, and I would imagine you're no stranger to this yourself. But you know, with nurturing yourself, planting things in your mind, thankfully you do build a certain sense of optimism, and you know that things are going to get better in the future. And at least you know from experience that you're still here, so your guides and you know you are protected. That doesn't mean you don't feel anything still. Sometimes we're allowed to feel loneliness or a sense of wanting more, you know, not from a place of ego, but it's like, hey, you know, we're deserving of more stuff in our life. Queen of Pentacles. So now you have the Queen of Pentacles. Oof. Misplaced focus, perhaps. I'm kind of fumbled in my hand. Let's see. They don't define gender. Okay, thank you for that. When I tune in with high SA, I got, it sounds feminine in nature to me. And when connecting with high SA, that's kind of like the vibe I got. But I understand maybe the way that high SA communicates with you would may be different than how high SA would communicate with me, potentially. At least in the way to present information to you or others. Queen of Pentacles are in the reverse position. That probably has to do with that self-care that is probably more in need to be able to kind of stabilize your mind, because like you kind of have certain ideas that you want to implement potentially, kind of keeping under wraps. It's kind of keeping under the wing, kind of overprotective at times of the things that you have, because you know at least the things that you have at this moment are things that you have earned. So understandably so. And from past traumas, you'd probably want to protect said things because, fuck, you know, excuse my language, but you work hard for it, you know? So, strategically planning for the next thing and how it's going to go. One of the first like thought forms that came to mind, and I just try to tune in, and I'm still, you know, disclaimer, I always tell people like, I, like everybody else, am always evolving my abilities, and specifically now with like channeling and different things like that. But fun is something that I got that came up very prominently. Again, at least the way that High SA presented at least herself, at least to me, was kind of feminine in nature. So I'm just going to describe it as such until I feel otherwise. But as kind of like an inner child, and I know that was debatable when I said that last time, but that was the feeling that was presented to me. That doesn't make it bad, but it's more so like, it's a very nostalgic, loving energy that's yourself, that sometimes wants to be hugged more often. Yeah, probably so. Centering in balance, finding the middle path, you know. Sometimes we feel that, I'm not saying this applies to you specifically, Miss Moon Honey, so just, again, take what resonates, but I feel to say this part, but sometimes as we get older, like we don't want to admit certain things that may come up as a test from time to time to test where we are. And sometimes that could mean our certain traumas and things that maybe we have dealt with. Don't close yourself off completely. It's where the boundaries come into effect, you know, healthy boundaries. It's good to safeguard the things that you have earned and desired, but sometimes our hurts and things from the past can make us a little bit too guarded. And then sometimes we just like do everything ourselves, and you get burned out. I'm want to see if there's any last card from this deck here. Tired and restless. Yeah. Yeah, I'm just vibing, so we just literally, if you were here earlier, I don't know how earlier, but we literally just got this card in the last reading here. 10 of Swords, which is kind of like someone, excuse me, confirmation. Someone feeling picked at from all angles, you know? I'm like, dang. And sometimes it's draining and it feels agonizing sometimes. I don't know if you ever get this, Miss Moon Honey, but sometimes you just don't even want to get out of bed, but you gotta force yourself to in some situations, you know. But as healers that you are as well, like when we're doing these sessions, like I'm sure, you know, you strengthen your stamina over time and get used to it, but maybe remember to recall your energy back to you a little more often, or with more intention at least. Archangel Raphael just came to mind. That was a card that pulled earlier, but Archangel Raphael in some aspects is known to help with like healing. So maybe in whatever way, because archangels usually, it is, and this is where like when I'm speaking things, this is not me doing eggshell energy, but it's more so like understanding that read or research does influence our decisions on what we think is like what resonates and what sounds right. So, but it isn't, I guess, collectively known that if you were to try to reach out to an archangel at any moment, that an archangel will respond or act upon the request faster than potentially other entities. Take what resonates and leave the rest with that. But as above, so below, I would imagine that if you were to summon a demon, it would be the same, just with different modalities of communication. Success is on the horizon, though. Obtaining what you have worked toward. What did I talk about? What did I just say? And I think this is a good thing to close it off, at least for you, Miss Moon Honey. I think this is, you know, I wanted to keep going a little bit. Success here, it's like, you know what you have earned, but sometimes, you know, it's like, just make sure that you're using some of that for you. Don't be a little too overprotective of it. Maybe treat yourself from time to time. Obtaining what you have worked toward. Success. Yeah, that's your success. You want to see the bottom card if you're still there? Let's see. You do build up stamina, but you get burned out. Yeah, you still get burned out. Because what happens is, this is how I see it, Miss Moon Honey. And hey, burn out, and the candle just went out. The candle literally just went out. Burn out. Sometimes I feel you leveling up in your abilities, and then you get into like Super Saiyan mode. You know what I mean? So you're able to maybe channel more entities or multiple entities at once. You know what I mean? If you're meant to, whatever. And I get, you know, cuckoo, you know what I mean? And sometimes you can burn yourself out quick. It's kind of like mana, if you think about it like a video game, right? Like you communicating and you tuning into the astral realms, you know what I mean? And there's a way that you can also kind of like half do that, you know, in waking life, you know? But doing it simultaneously, understandably so, drains a lot of energy and takes a lot of energy, and also making sure that you keep a balanced tether to the world, if that makes sense. But yeah, as you learn more abilities, they cost more mana points. So your mana point, your mana stamina bar raises as you evolve and you gain with wisdom. But then they still cost a lot of points, especially with some of these like bigger, because then, you know, whether it's shamanism or paganism or whatever religion it is that you do, you know, as you strengthen in your confidence in your craft, it requires more energy the more intention and passion you put into it. You know what I mean? So I guess easier for those that are open-minded, it would be more so like talking specifically like spell work and things like that, right? But prayers and affirmations are also spells. Words that you speak to yourself are spells. It's called spelling. So Are you laughing at the eating? Yeah. We're a human, you know what I'm saying? Whatever. You be on this live, you hanging out with me. This is how it is, you feel me? It's like you in the room because you family. Wolfpack family! Oh! Cool. Yummy. Let's see. Yeah, I'm about... The inner fat kid in me is igniting, and I'm like, that was already like 2 packs of ramen right there, and let's take a look here. Let's see. Roast chicken flavor. Okay, that could be real or not. Let's see. So ignoring all the very hard to pronounce preservatives that are in this, which have been transmuted. and this is why I don't buy this normally on my own. One whole pack is 70% your daily value of sodium if you ingest the whole sodium packet, I would imagine. So I would give myself that's the max sodium. I only use 1 pack of sodium. The saturated fats, that's gonna be in the ramen, y'all. That's gonna be straight up in the ramen, not a sponsor. 35% I'm doing per container because I eat the whole container. 35% per pack of ramen. 70%, y'all. I've eaten two packs. But yeah, if I've tempted you enough, Miss Moon Honey, get yourself some ramen if you got it. You could probably Instacart it. Just for you, I pulled the bottom here, the deck here. Archangel Vetkiel, Archangel of Leo. I think I heard you on your live talking about Leo, talking about something about certain aspects of them. Tell me in the chat what it is that you know. I think my my Venus is in Leo. Yes. Physical and spiritual life on all spheres of existence. What did I talk about that balance earlier? See that? Boom. See that? Archangel Verkiel. Archangel Leo. Physical and spiritual life on all spheres of existence. Yeah. Let's see what's going on in the chat. Heard Kyle Martin, what's up, y'all? How you doing? You crop dusting around here? Is that what you're saying? Mad Charton. Okay. I guess y'all have some kind of little fetish or something going on. It's kind of interesting. It's the best I got. I don't even know if I did that. It's not even actual fart, but whatever. Readings are for 18 plus. Yeah, Miss Mooney, that's funny. Some people need that gesture energy, though, you know what I mean? They need to just, like, let themselves loose, you know what I mean? Just, I guess let it out. I guess that's what they're trying to do. You're welcome, Kyle. You're welcome. Make sure you're subscribed, at least. You're welcome. Make sure you're subscribed, okay? You gotta keep it raw, man. You gotta keep it raw, man. Yeah, work. Yeah, ramen. You know? Yeah. You don't wanna feel like a fish out of water, you know what I mean? You gotta make sure that you get life and you just grab it. It's flopping around, you know what I mean? You gotta grab the fish before it comes away, and then once you take hold of what it is that you know that you deserve in life, this is the bounty, right? Thank the universe for the gift, and then feast and help those that you love, so that way they don't feel like a fish out of water either. Yes. Anyways, make sure you're subscribed. Miss Moon Honey, I hope you enjoyed that energy scan. If you're still in the chat. That's funny. It's whatever. Seven of Pentacles randomly slid out. Take a stock of the beauty and health that is with you. Those that have been there for you, and those that you know that you can rely on. It will help you on your journey if you allow yourself a certain level of trust, despite one's potential traumas that may exist or had existed. Thank you. I'm glad you did, Miss Moon Honey. I don't even know how long I've been live. I don't know. Maybe you can put it on the chat. It's hard to tell because it doesn't really show it. But I had the better cameras facing me, so it doesn't show a mirrored image. Well, I'm gonna get off pretty soon, and then I had tried a breakfast platter this morning because I had to drive all the way in the other side of town for an appointment this morning. And I've been always wanting to go to this little breakfast place that's like very reasonably priced, you know? And I was like, hey, I'm kind of like a meat and potatoes kind of guy, you know what I mean? I'm just trying to get as much protein as I can, bang for my buck. And I did, like you said, dealer's choice, right? So I had the server choose for me. That's how I ended up with this unsweet tea that I got to go later. It was probably one of the best freaking breakfasts I've had in a long time. Like, the eggs were cooked perfect, over easy, very runny yolk. And I said, dealer's choice, but whatever you do, I must have somewhere in the mix, if you upgrade or whatever, a side of biscuits and gravy. I have to have that, right? Because I always try to, every breakfast place I shop around and see, you know, a good breakfast place, in my opinion, based on their biscuits and gravy. If they got a good biscuits and gravy, that's a good starting point. We're starting there. And some places use turkey sausage, and that's good too. First Watch, if you know, that place used turkey sausage. But we talk about, if this is a mom and pop, I can't speak the name, it would dox me. But they had a local like butcher in the area or something like that, and they had like fresh ham and eggs, perfect, over easy. They had 2 slices of tender bacon on there, and they had this kielbasa type, like smoked sausage or something, like kielbasa. She told me it was kielbasa specifically. That was from a local place. And it was awesome. Oh, shoot. Anyways, that's all about self-love right there. That goes for anybody. Make sure you treat yourself. Don't be afraid to go out from time to time. Just keep it reasonable. Don't go overboard. You know, gotta make sure you keep it balanced, right? Take care of yourself, you know. You have felt a lot of loss. It's time for you to feel more gain. Say hello in the chat if you're still there. Anybody? Secrets. Pendulum is shown on here. Maybe allow yourself a little bit of external guidance and like not trying to control everything so much. I'm just kind of doing general right now. Burden of tears. Mercedes, how you doing? There's a buy me a coffee link on there if you want to donate. Go on there and I can do a specific personalized, but the fact that you're here in general, even for this general reading, it may have something for you, so don't take that for granted either, okay? So I'm just gonna keep it rolling. If you did donate, let me know, and the universe knows if you did or not. Anger, whether it be anger at yourself, I think that might be a little more prominent here right now, because through a certain sense of loss, and sometimes some of these things, we don't want to broadcast our losses. Let's keep it real. Sometimes that's part of the egos, you know, whether it's something that you don't, it's all like image, right? And this is where you gotta like keep that balance of like what is real and what is actually what you know. What you know exists is you. You know that you exist. And sometimes you have to get to a point of learning on your own that it doesn't matter, that sometimes you'll lose people for no reason. And it's because that's the universe's way of getting those people out of your life that probably would have caused you more anger and more problems. So put a stake in it, you know, symbolically, and move on. And it may have been seen as a loss initially, but the secret is that that's what was meant to happen, because it was the burden of tears in your life. Yes. All right. Demolish. Mission accomplished. But yeah, we're gonna keep it going. Thank you, Miss Mercedes. But yeah, we're gonna keep it rolling, and there may be some things that pop out for you too. Love, it just came out. Of course, it all boils down to love. Everybody's talking about love situation, you know. But I'm curious though, like realistic, like real talk. Let's keep it 100. You know, obviously, like as a human myself, that's something that crosses the mind sometimes. But it's like also think about reasons why we potentially externally seek love, or, you know, obviously make sure that the love is not misplaced. Love can either nourish or hurt us. See the barbed wire around there, and then you see the fruits of the labor, right? You see that? This seems like love focused right now in a way, so let's just kind of ride along this energy. Make sure you're subscribed, everyone. That's free. You're beautiful, you're wonderful. We're gonna pull from this very short deck here. This is the Faded Pocket Faded Soul Oracle. You've been having that, I think this is not I think if I looked up, this is not like a flagged term, but let's just say a coitus type of chemistry with said person, your coitus, and that's a sign. Yo, that's crazy. Right when I said that, it reloaded. It reloaded, so I'm like, that the AI kicking in? Yeah, I got you hungry, yeah. Oh, what? Yo, French fries and gravy? Dang. Yo, you should cook for me too. Yeah, that'd be good. I'm hungry. That sounds good. That sounds like what do you call that? There's already a dish where it's like French fries and like sauce and stuff like that. Has like mushrooms on it too. Put it in the chat if you know what I'm talking about. But anyways, we're keeping going. This is a romantic connection, in addition to having the coitus energy to it. You know what I mean? The romantic connection could be someone that you have on your mind right now, someone that you're desiring a type of connection, even for a night potentially, and maybe even for a night, and that's all because there's probably a reason that you're not with this person. Red flag, baby. You know, that's probably what it is. Red flag. Karmic relationship, yeah. So This person that you may have, maybe you're kind of in a situationship or back and forth, or maybe you have some nostalgic feelings about a past ex-partner that has caused you the pain to put you to have your defenses up. Even though you're finally in a place of healing, you've noticed that these people from this loss is just, you know, kind of freaking crazy, yo. You know what I mean? Keep it real. And you kind of realize this is a karmic relationship, you know what I mean? Time to embrace the dualistic lessons and dualistic nature of things that have transpired in this dynamic, and take it from a place of history and reflection and growth to move on to the next thing, you know, and greater things are in store for you, baby. Sacred friendship could be on the horizon, or that could be what you have currently. And I wouldn't say this would be with an ex. I don't think that would be recommended personally, whoever I'm speaking to right now. And your guides are probably kind of telling you that probably not so fast. Make sure you don't try to friend people that you've been in kind of like a coitus kind of connection. I mean, it's, yeah, no, a lot of those don't really work out. And it's sacred friendship. I feel this is someone that's probably within a soul tribe. It's more of a support system coming in that potentially could help you to cut the cords with some of these people in your past and help you to move on. It could be a counselor, it could be a therapist, potentially. I'm not a therapist, so take what resonates and leave the rest, but you know what I'm saying. Make sure you, again, take care of the self. A total of 5 cards. 5 is the number of change. Let's see from this, this energy is kind of kicking in. I just kind of got this increased wave, you know what I mean? And that's probably what kind of lust does to you too. It can give a lust, you know, whatever energy I'm tuning in right now, that could be like lusting after somebody. That, like, you know, the coitus style energy, chemistry can be very powerful energy and can really manifest a lot in a very short time if it is used appropriately. Always with consent. Welcome back, Miss Moon Honey. French fries and gravy. Wow, that sounds awesome. You know what I mean? All right. Party, friends, family. It's going to be party time. So it's probably tied with that sacred friendship energy, and probably the soul tribe or people that you may be working with that are coming into your life. But also keep in mind that the partnerships or connections that you develop can be with other people too. That people, meaning like spiritual guidance. To me, like I feel that part of the solitary like journey sometimes of getting into like a solitude or anything like that. Sometimes that you're never alone anyways, you know what I mean? And sometimes like getting into like a normal divine devotional type connection with your team or whatever, which are also parts of yourself, they can become your family also. But also make sure you balance those connections existing in your current life. So make sure you have a balance. So full through and through connections, okay? This is the, I forget what the name of it is called. Something love, tell me you love me, Oracle. Thank you, universe. Health specialist finances. That always seems to be a prominent issue for a lot of people, whether it be one mooching off the other or whatever the case is. 3-3 could be significant, but this potential financial drain could have caused burden of tears, as the card that showed earlier. may have been this red flag that you had discovered earlier. All is well when life goes well. Sometimes you just gotta be like, c'est la vie. You know, keep on going and be like, oh, all right, well, this happened. Sometimes there's nothing you can do about something that already happened in the past, and it's like, okay, well now, like sometimes it can leave you stunned for a little bit. This person's face, you look at it as like dumbfounded, like, huh? Oh, painful. What is the universe trying to teach me right now? Trying to teach me the hard lessons in life. So make sure that you're tuning into specialists in need, whatever that is for you. Cheers. Yo, the Memora. How are you doing? If I said that correctly, get your snacks, come on down. I'm about to, you know, we keep it real here. You hanging out with me here is pretty much like hanging out with me in real life. For those that know, you know. I try to keep it as real as possible. Some Nature Valley Bar, Trail Mix Edition or whatever, not a sponsor. Look pretty good. Alright, brother, man. We call it chewy bar for a reason. Okay. Effort, fatigue. I looked this up last time. Lassitude definition. 3-9 could be significant. Give your all for an all-out victory. Lassitude said a state of feeling weariness, diminished energy, or listlessness, lethargy. Well, that's all from this defeat that you've been feeling. Kind of all this stuff coming at one time. Welcome, La Memora from Iran. Welcome. Glad to have you in the chat. Make sure you're subscribed, okay? Prison. Wow, okay. I see you in the chat. Nice try. Try to get people to say your name in chat, aren't you? Well, I see that depending on what you believe, but I feel that Jesus was an ascended master. He was trying to teach people how to awaken the divinity within themselves. So it's a pretty chill dude. He may help you out with your Taco Bell situation there. I guess you have a chip off the old block, do you? Is that what it is? Don't want to go Doritos Locos on us, do you? You know what I mean? You load too much, you'd be like, I'm drinking tea. You'd be a little teed off about the explosive nature of all the flavors through and through that are coursing from the Taco Bell. Yes, sometimes that it would cause a person to empty their contents a lot more than usual. So I don't really eat there. We keep it unhinged here, y'all, whatever. I try not to eat Taco Bell anymore. Okay. Moon. These days I'm confused. Tall dog. Interesting. A dog. Well, dogs are very loyal. The Memora. Dogs are very loyal, and they're also very inquisitive, is what came to mind. They're very alert, and they're very not only loyal to you in sense of being there for you, but also the energy of a dog is closeness, affection. Sometimes our past loved ones could potentially manifest in either a dog or pet that we end up owning, or maybe even a stray that just passes by or something like that. I literally just saw like a brown, big, huge male chihuahua that was in front of my house, and I think it belonged to my neighbors, but at least it was the first time I seen it. And then this morning I saw my neighbor had a brand new puppy that looked like a white with brown speckles, and it came and licking me and everything like that. It was beautiful. And I live vicariously through others when it comes to pets, because they're expensive. They're like kids in their own. The vet bills are expensive here in the States. So anyways, plus more cleaning. I'm like, well, hey, I will live vicariously through other people for the time being. And anyways, yeah, keep talking in the chat. I love the, I hope that brought a little clarity, at least regarding a dog symbolism. Like, dogs are very loyal, they're loving, they're caring, they're protectors, they watch out for you. You know what I mean? So maybe it could be a past life energy of someone or an ancestor or some energy that you work closely with that is part of your guardianhood in your aura, and that has been protecting you physically and in some instances spiritually, and being able to protect your sanity. Because let's keep it real, you know, sometimes you need an extra dose of sanity as much as possible to whatever is going on. You feel me? That's what came to mind. So take what resonates, leave the rest. So I hope that was good. Is there any other like signs or things that came up? I'm curious. Now we're just kind of conversating right there. See, anybody conversating in the chat, you'll be immortalized in the videos, baby. It's all spiritual talk, chilling. You know what I mean? Let's see. Interesting. I saw a face in a flower too. Well, you said that, and then what came to mind was this one artist that I have a few of her things, and one of them that accidentally broke, and I gotta glue it back together. Sad face, but face, she has like these, let me just kind of zoom in, where it has like a face, but she has other flower symbolism and also like crystals and things like that. It's very beautiful art pieces that she creates. This is a selenite wand here, but face in flower here. Yes. Oh, and what also came to mind too was that have you seen Avatar: Last Airbender? Not the blue people, but the Avatar, the Nickelodeon show, but the closest thing to anime that a Western show will ever get, in my opinion. But there's a spirit in the show, spoiler alerts, hope that's okay, but there's a spirit in the show, if I remember correctly, that changed faces and had kind of like swallowed up multiple souls over time or something. I forget the lore exactly, but everything's collective consciousness anyways, right? But in the context of this, I'm getting like someone that's like having felt the need to put multiple masks up, you know what I mean? And shifting from time to time based on your surrounding. You ever see those flowers that kind of like open up and close, right? That's kind of what's coming right now. And I think recently there was, in the States, there's this one flower. I guess it looks like something from a Jurassic Park or something, but it only opens up like once a year or something, and just recently like opened up, and then it showed this beautiful like flower or whatever. And then, but it releases this foul stench. It's very stinky, right? And sometimes going through and shuffling through the different like faces and masks and sorting through the different like bullshit that sometimes, let's keep it real, that we have intentionally chose, you know what I mean, from one way or another. Some for some reasons it was our intuition, we followed our intuition, and it was a temporary mask. But sometimes we get carried away and we keep a mask on for longer than what is intended purpose, you know, because sometimes, like, to be able to you even use a mask, you have to have a sense of intelligence and awareness, I think, to even know that you're doing it. Some people do it subconsciously and can do it on command, and there's, you know, that's a whole debate too, based on certain things. But again, also keeping in mind the certain influences of our surroundings. So a flower is very dependent on its surroundings for health and nourishment. And it may open up and close depending on how safe it feels, or depending on how much sunlight it gets. So maybe if you're not taking enough sunlight, you know what I mean, then this may be something to keep in mind. So when you say face and flowers, that's kind of, I said a whole bunch of things in like one shot, Memora, but that's kind of what came up. Hope, future liaisons. If you lose hope, you may of desire. You may die of desire, it says. Hope can be a dangerous word, though, because hope is coming from, it's rooted in lack. The word hope is rooted in lack, because hope is a word that you put out there coming from a place that you don't already have something. So because you don't have it, you're hoping for it. Illusions, it says liaisons, but illusions came to mind. And this could be kind of like the way that you're trying to frame your existence a certain way and get people to look at you a certain way. But just be aware of potential illusions that exist. You said OMG, Memora. I'm curious what you're referring to. Diet, behavior, balance. Your body has a message for you. Your body is telling you to look into yourself and to take care of yourself, because you're beautiful and you're wonderful, you know? And you're worthy to be nurtured in the way that you deserve to be nurtured. Could be getting a message soon. Correspondence, message, letter. Hurry up, Mill. Love cannot wait. Make sure you don't put your plans on hold, though. You know what I mean? It just came up to mind. Like, that's why when this hope card came up, I think it's kind of tying this to me. This is like giving me an anticipatory energy of someone that's waiting for a sense of communication and response from someone. But obviously, if they're not getting it, then you're willingly sacrificing your own energy for the sake of a hopeful hypothetical situation in which you would get a certain connection or correspondence, whether it be for a sense of closure. It doesn't mean that you want to be back with said other people in the past, but this is a love deck corresponding with the cards we pulled earlier. Like, I feel that this is some kind of karmic toxic person, or at least at the moment, you know, in this specific frame in time. Just don't hold your plans back for the sake, and don't put your life on hold, you know what I mean, for the sake of a fairy tale or a potential fairy tale idealized situation, that by focusing too much on a fixed and not a flow state, a fixed outcome, I think by focusing too much on it from a place of hope that you don't have it, it's more so pushing those things farther away, versus if you were to just release the control of it and then embody, like, you put the intention out there, like, universe, I want this in my life. Like, I have this idea. There's nothing wrong with having a vision, but also if you focus so much on it, then you're probably, you may miss other things around you, you know what I mean? If you're not careful and you get so fixated on just one thing happening, because sometimes there could be something that your universe and your guides have put together that's even better for you than what you have even imagined, you know what I mean? All right, y'all. I think I might close it there for now. I hope you have enjoyed this reading. If you've been here from the beginning, then awesome. If not, no worries. Make sure that if you're just stepping in, make sure you do like the video, follow and subscribe for more. The goal is 500 subscribers, y'all, to get to the next thing in YouTube. And we're gonna keep it rolling, okay? Gonna do a closing cleansing here. Pechugaso coming in, Shadow Warrior, encouraging unity of all the energies within the self, light and dark. I think my phone is about to cut off anyway, so perfect timing. If you consent to sage cleansing, say I consent before the phone cuts off. Cleansing with both the wand and the pen at the same time, okay? Universe, thank you so much. We're closing this portal out, and thank you, universe, for everybody that's coming through this chat. May you be restored and renewed in your purpose. Mystic Wolf bids you a beautiful day wherever you are. I love you. Stay mystical. Make sure you follow. Check me out on all platforms. Instagram. If you want to work directly with Mystic Wolf Oracle, reach out to me on Instagram. I love you. You're beautiful. Stay mystical. We'll talk soon. Ciao, mi amor. Bye.